Hi guys, welcome back. In this video I'm going to be showing us how we can link our Flutter application to our Django API. So let's get started, and the first thing we need to do is to actually install our Django-cors-headers to actually allow for seamless communication between our Flutter app and our Django API. So I'm going to open my terminal here, and I'm going to pip install Django cors-headers. So this would allow me to actually have a seamless communication between my Django API and my Flutter application. So I'm just going to add this setup here. Now while this is actually installing, I'm going to go to my settings.py, and just here in my installed apps I'm going to have this right here, cors-headers. I'm going to have that right in my installed apps. Then I'm going to go down to my middleware, and I'm going to add the middleware for my cors-headers as well. So that will be cors-headers dot middleware dot cors middleware. Okay, so after that, the last thing I'm going to be adding, I'm just going to add it to the bottom of my file here. I'm going to specify, I'm going to say cors underscore allow underscore all origins, and I'm going to set that to true. Okay, so cors-headers has been successfully installed. Now the last thing I'm going to do is just to pip freeze and add it to our requirements.txt file. So with that we can successfully update our requirement.txt. But before we move on, we need to run our server, so as to keep our server running before we actually, so that we can actually connect communicate between the two apps seamlessly. So we are going to run our server, and we are going to keep our server running while we work on our front end. So we use the local host to actually connect. So yeah, so we already have our URL here, which we'll actually be using to connect with our front end Flutter app. Now let's move on to our Flutter app and write the code to communicate with our API. Right here we have our Flutter app, and I will not be delving deep into that because this is not a Flutter tutorial. So we have our Flutter app right here, and this is a login page, a simple login page for us to actually work with. So I'll be showing us the output of that. So right here, this is how the login page actually looks like. So like I said, it's a very simple login page. Okay, so I'm actually running that in the web and not using an Android emulator. Okay, so the first thing that we now need to do is to go to our popspec.yaml file, the one that we have right here, and we need to add a dependency, an HTTP dependency, to actually be able to send HTTP requests. So we need to add that to our postspec.yaml. So we are going to go back let's go to our web, and we need to go to pop.dev. So we're going to go to a website named pop.dev. So it's the official repository of that, and we can get different dependencies there. So I'm just going to type in HTTP right here, and I'm going to search for that. So it will bring me the latest version of HTTP package. So this is the latest version. I just need to copy that. Then I'm going to go back. Let me go back to my login page. So I'm going to go back to our Flutter code, and I'm going to go to the dependency right below the Flutter here. So I'm not going to add it to the SDK. I'm just going to backspace a little, and I'm going to add it right here. So this is our HTTP with the present version, the current version that we have there. So I'm going to go back to my main.dat, and I already have this line of code here that is actually importing that. So I'm going to undo that. So I already removed the comment, and now because my Flutter app has been set to actually update the dependency, so it is running Flutter pop get, so to actually update the dependency and add the HTTP package to the list of packages that I have, so that I'll be able to actually make use of it. Okay, so now we already have the HTTP package already added, and like I said, we already have our Flutter app here. So our login page, and we have our login widget here, and there we have two controllers that we're using to collect inputs for username and password, and here we have a login button, and we already added a function for the onPress. So when we press the login button, we want it to carry out this function. So I'm just going to go ahead and update that particular function. So I have the function here, and I'm just going to be updating that. So we're going to start by specifying our URL, and that we have URI.parse. I'm going to specify my URL here, HTTP so our home page is where we are running our login from, so I'm just going to leave it as that. Then I'm going to store the response for my requests here, and that will be await http.post, and right here I'm going to have I'm going to have my URL. I'm going to also have okay, yeah, so I'm going to have my URL. I'm going to have yeah, okay, yeah, my URL, yeah, so that's right, my headers as well, and for my headers I'm just going to have my content type, and my content type is going to be application/JSON. Then I'm going to have the body, and I'm just going to JSON encode it, and I'm going to have username, controller.text, and I'm going to have my password as well, and that will be underscore password controller dot text. So once I'm done with that, I want to check the status code that my response is actually returning to be sure if it is successful or not. Now if it returns 200, that means it is successful. So I'm just going to check for that, and I'm going to use my scaffold messenger to actually display display message. So I'm going to use my snack bar. Yeah, so the content, I'm going to just have a text widget. I'm going to make use of a text widget, and I'm just going to display login successful. Yeah, so I'm going to have my else statement here, and I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to display invalid credentials. Okay, so with that we are done, and I'm just going to reload the page and we can now test it. Okay, so let's give it a try. And now I can't actually remember the previous user that we actually registered, since we didn't register a new user for this particular video section. So I'm just going to give it a default value to show that it's actually communicating with our API. Okay, so right here, just going to give it a username and password. Okay, so as you can see, we have invalid credentials being displayed for us.